Thank you for the opportunity to be here today and to just speak a little bit about the tax renewal that we have on the ballot tomorrow. We've been going around the community telling people to start at the bottom and go up from there and find us on the ballot, because by the time you get to BREC, it will be at the bottom and you might be a little tired and exhausted. So we want you to be fresh and alert and aware. So with that, I'll get started. We have a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation. Our mission, basically, as most people know, is to make sure that we provide a vibrant community through quality parks, recreation experiences, through health and wellness type of activities, as well as through making sure that we take care of the environment through conservation and preservation types of programs, facilities, and services. So the renewal is on the ballot tomorrow, and we want people to know why and what you're voting on. Basically, it's not a new tax. It is a way for us to renew the way we play. It's a way to make sure that one half of our operating and maintenance funding is renewed. And so we're excited and we're hopeful that people will understand what this means to us, and our focus is to try to keep it moving in the right order. So what will it do? I've been asked the question, what will the park do? What would the system have as a result? It won't be anything new, it won't be an increase. However, it will help us to maintain what we currently have on the ground. We're talking ball field maintenance that we provide maintenance for, our sports complexes, lights at our ball fields, lights throughout our system. It keeps the trash collected. It helps us to take care of the gymnasiums. And we have 58 recreation facilities that we have programs that we provide for the community. It helps us to maintain and make sure that we have a clean city, a clean parish, by collecting trash and removing debris, as well as trees that we have to trim, be it a hazard or just on our regular trimming rotational schedule. Also, it helps us to maintain playgrounds. Many places around the country, we're required, actually, in our business to inspect playgrounds each week. And it helps to make sure that the playgrounds are safe for the kids. We had a situation where, not here in Louisiana, but in another state, where they were putting razor blades on play equipment. And so kids were, subject to those type of issues. And so we make sure that our playgrounds are free of any type of hazards associated with people either doing something wrong or using the equipment in the improper way. It also helps us to make sure that we're able to teach kids to swim. We have 3 Learn to Swim sites, and then we have the Liberty Lagoon Water Park. And we teach over probably 1,500 kids in camps how to swim, and we do that every summer. We've taught more kids to swim this past summer than we've taught in the history of BREC with the pools that we have. And so we're planning to continue to provide that program service for the community. We're also working with a number, almost 80,000 people at our water park. We're in the process of expanding the park, where we're adding 2 new exciting slides and a surfing simulated type of flow rider. And so we were told that in the year 2020, when the Olympics happen in Tokyo, they will have, I think it's Tokyo, they will have surfing as the first time at that particular Olympics. And so we'll have an opportunity here in this community for people to learn how to do that. Also, we'll also continue our Learn to Swim programs, as I mentioned earlier. This money also helps us to make sure that we provide affordable summer camps for kids at various different levels. Many people in this community cannot afford to pay the high price of private summer camps. And so this money allows us to be able to provide safe, structured, play, fun activities for our children throughout the summer. And I often tell people about an example, a personal experience I had not long ago where my granddaughter came in the first week BREC camps had not started. And so she was enrolled in a private camp. And I paid 3 times the amount of money for her to participate in the camp, and they only went on 1 field trip. We take kids on field trips 3 times a week. So it's an exciting thing that we offer for kids. It's the support that we need to continue to do the type of wonderful programs that we offer. We also have the after-school programming that we're working with the EBR school system. We're working with Central and Zachary to make sure that we provide quality after-school care. And so we're doing a number of things with the funding that we would ask the people to renew. Also, these are some just the other things that we do. We maintain outdoor adventure spaces like Frenchtown Road, the Blackwater Conservation Area. We have the area near Burbank. We offer fishing at various locations throughout our system. We have canoeing and kayaking. People want to get outdoors more often. We're in the process of building some blueway accesses to blueways in the different parts of the parish. We're looking at one possibly in the northern part near Plank Road. We're also looking at one down near Highland Road as well. And so we'll try to have people accessing waterways from different places. It's part of our trails network, our capital area trails network. Certainly, you know, there's birding opportunities to get outside and, you know, also ecotourism. So we really intend to continue to play a major role in that area. Also, as I mentioned earlier, you know, trails as far as biking through our capital area pathways. We'll have hiking and biking and other activities that we'll be able to offer to the public. And we're hoping to be able to continue to provide quality recreation programs in our facilities for seniors and adults and children. And so this money will help us to go a long ways in terms of making sure that we're able to continue to provide sports, arts and crafts, ceramics, and other type of programs of that nature. It helps us to take care of the animals at the zoo, as well as the horse park. We have an awesome horse park in Equestrian Center here and the system, as well as helps us take care of animals at Bluebonnet Swamp. And so we're doing so many different things. It's such a diverse system, but we have a number of things going on. Also, it will help us to operate and maintain our new Children's Museum, scheduled to open this summer, as well as some other places such as the Extreme Sports area, as well as the Art Gallery, the Baton Rouge Art Gallery at City Park. The Knock Knock Children's Museum is scheduled, I believe, to open in July. And so we'll hopefully work with the museum board and ensure that we have quality education programs for children to experience. I'm told that we are the only major city in the state of Louisiana without a children's museum. And so we'll eventually bring that to this community. So what will the renewal not do? It will not, and this is really important to note, it will not build us anything new. This renewal will take care of what we have on the ground today. It will not build a new zoo, regardless of locations. It will not build, do anything with the lake system, the LSU City Park Lakes. We know that that's a new, different type of initiative that we'll need to pursue. It will not purchase new parkland for us. It will help us to make sure that we take care of what we currently have. It will not basically build any new trails. We need to build trails. We're linking up with so many different agencies, from the state to the federal government to local people, to try to build trails, but this does not build the trails that we will need. It will help us maintain the ones we've already built. It will not make sure that we do a number of things to really expand our system. And so we really just want to make sure that people know this is to keep us functioning the way we've already set up. So some of the big things that we've done, to try to be more efficient with the use of the taxpayers' dollar. I think it's always important for you all to see some of the things that we're trying to do. We're constantly in the process of trying to remove parkland that we call obsolete land. It's not obsolete in the sense of just being old. It's just not providing the recreational value that we would like to see provided. And so we've done some things and we're continuing to do. In fact, we have 2 pieces of property in the Lafitte Hills area that we just received an appraisal, and we hope to be able to sell that property, use that money to reinvest back into the system. We're also looking at ways to make sure that we look at our executive and management levels of employees, and we're constantly restructuring each year as we look to make sure that we are not overly staffed in one area and making sure that we can continue to deliver at the proper level as far as staffing. So we've done a number of major moves with our employees to make sure our employee base is clearly downsized to the point where we could take care of operations in a safe and effective manner. We're also looking at ways to make sure that we are pledging to the public to only go when we have a major tax election with the larger voter turnout. We were accused in 2014 of going when only a small amount of people were on the ballot. Well, we made a commitment this time around to do it the way people have told us that we should do it. So we're going with a larger voter turnout, hopefully. We hope to be able to prevail, because if we have to go back next year, we're talking about an additional $600,000 for BREC to call us another election. And that's money that the taxpayers hopefully won't have to spend. The other thing that we're telling people that we're trying to make sure that we're efficient about is that we're looking at ways, always looking at ways to increase revenues, looking at ways to introduce new programs and new activities into our system to generate additional earned income for our program areas. And we're also making sure that we're trying to keep the taxpayer from having to take on more of a burden from our new facilities, such as the Liberty Lagoon, the water slide. It's going to be a new area of the park. We hope to look at other areas where we're going to bring new fees into the system, such as when we renovate and put the new Independence Botanical Gardens in. We'll be able to rent that space out for events and activities and weddings and receptions and host a number of different activities out in the gardens. So we're always looking for ways to enhance what we're doing, enhance what we build, promote what we're doing, and get more people actively engaged in what we're doing. We're also looking at the repurposing of Howell Golf Course. Many of you know when we asked the National Golf Foundation to come in and take a look at the BREC system, they told us that we had too many golf courses. We heard them, and we made a decision based on rounds and revenues where would be the best place to start. And when we looked at Howell Park, we knew that that would be the logical first one. As far as closing any other golf courses at this time, that was not part of their recommendation. Their recommendation was solely based on rounds and revenues to make sure that we were more efficient in the way we used the taxpayers' dollar, as well as to bring more people to the park. Instead of serving 20 people in that huge area, I can now serve 200 people in an hour at that location. So our hope is to serve more people. The people in that community have expressed excitement to us about the expanded Howell Community Park. And we're excited about being able to bring new playgrounds, new ball fields, lighted ball fields, and eventually our hope is one day to be able to build a new recreation center. We'll keep the swimming pool. We won't do anything about the swimming pool. It will stay. But our hope eventually is to bring a really nice new facility, but it's not included in this money. Also, Wi-Fi, we've done public Wi-Fi, and we've put that out. We try to increase our services in so many different ways, and so when you come to a community park for whatever purpose, you'll be able to use the Wi-Fi system we have set up. These are just some of the other things that we're doing. We're always looking for ways to make sure that we are saving or making money, but Outsourcing our mowing has been a real major thing that we've tried to do. We wanted to make sure that we were able to contract out as much mowing as we could to reduce the amount of staffing costs connected to fringe benefits. And so we've been doing a number of our parks. In fact, since 2014, we had 95 parks, and we're currently at 132 parks that we have actually outsourced the mowing. And so we're going to probably keep some in-house and keep some out, because we need to have the flexibility to respond to any type of emergency or situation that we need to respond to. Also, we are increasing our recycling. One of the things that I've noticed when I first came back in 2012, we were not really recycling because we were just not doing it. And so we challenged the team to come up with a recycling program, and they're called the Go Green Committee, and they've done some major recycling programs at our administrative building and in some of our other facilities, and they recently got a grant to be able to offer recycling at Burbank Soccer Complex. So we're excited about what they're doing in that area. We're also looking at how we staff with temporary employees. We had a number of employees, permanent employees, and we wanted to see how we could add a lot more flexibility into what we were doing. So we reduced some of the full-time permanent positions and created more temporary positions to be able to staff people at various locations when we needed people to go to work at those locations. We also looked at our fuel card program. Initially, we had fuel pumps throughout our BREC park system, and if you were in one part of town and you needed to get gas, you needed to drive all the way on the other side of town in order to get gas. But now we have a fuel system so that you go to the fuel wherever there's a service station, you fill up, we track it, and we have a way to keep track of how people are doing, pumping gas obviously into their vehicles, and we're accounting and tracking it to make sure that people are not abusing the system. And it has saved us a lot in terms of time as well as money. So we're working to make sure that we're able to pay attention to some of those small things, because it's the small things that eventually becomes the big thing. And so we're asking people to take a look at the GPS. We had talked about GPS when I first came, and we're finally there. We're having GPS in our Ranger cars as well as in our maintenance vehicles, where people are riding around the community so we know where they are and what they're doing. And then certainly we're looking at, we switched our internet provider from Playtech to Cox, and we were able to receive a great amount of savings in the switch over, and so we're using those savings to help us to purchase and further enhance our information technology system. And so those are just some of the things that we're doing to try to make sure that we are taking care of the public's dollar based on how you asked us to do it. It's also one of the number one strategies in our new updated strategic plan we call the Imagine Your Parks 2 plan, to take care of and be responsible with the taxpayers' dollar. So we're on the ballot on November 8th. We're asking you to tell your friends and your family to go to the bottom of the ballot and start from there and go up. Well, we're excited to let the people know that we're asking to renew half of our operating and maintenance funding, the funding that goes to support BREC, this nationally recognized award-winning park system that you have. We're asking people to go to the polls tomorrow, find us at the very bottom of the ballot, and vote your way up.
Tell us a little bit about what this renewal would mean.
This renewal would mean that we would be able to continue to provide programs and services. It will help us to make sure that we're continuing to serve the health and wellness needs of this community. It will also help us to make sure that we provide after school and summer camps for kids the way we've always done them, and even enhance some of the areas. It will allow us to continue to operate ball fields at night with the lights, and make sure we have the trash collected in the parks and all kinds of programs that are still being offered. We will do it.
And conversely, if the tax renewal fails, what would happen then?
Well, first of all, if the tax renewal failed, we would have to go back to the voters again in 2017 at the cost of $600,000 that the taxpayer shouldn't have to bear. And that's not a smart thing. We believe it's important for people to know what they're voting on. It's not new. It's not an increase. It's to help keep the system operational.
How many people participate at BREC facilities in a given year?
Oh my God, depending on the type of program. I mean, like our water park, for example, we're talking 80,000 people being served at that location. Our zoo, 250,000 people being served at that location. At some of our ball fields, we're probably, like Burbank as an example, we're talking about 5,000 to 6,000 kids being connected to that program. So it varies based on location to location and use.
What kind of a role do parks play in terms of economic development for a community?
Well, first of all, we hire people. We bring in help to bring in businesses, and they bring their employees in. And when their employees see that there's great quality of life, they want to come here and they want to stay here. We're also involved in making sure that we provide opportunities for contractors to build different type of amenities in parks. So from an economic standpoint, we do have a role that we play. But more than economic development, we're all about quality of life, making sure that people know you have a great system, you want to live here, you want to stay here, you want to raise your kids here, that type of thing.
If people have questions like more information, what should they do?
They should go to brec.org/elections to find out more about the renewal.